So welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream for YouTube and Ustream. I've had a bit of a natter earlier about how I'm going to organise colouring my books because I've got rather a lot of colouring books at the moment. And this is going to be about Inktober. I've been having a bit of a play and my daughter's gone to college, she's gone to uni, and I've sorted out a set of pens which I didn't have. I just realised I have to get up and find those. So I've got these Pilot parallel pens. I bought this, and I'll go back to that one in a second. I don't know if I've got any ink in that one. No, that's the thickest one. That says it's a 2.4. Well, it won't focus, so it's a 2.4. And then we have, I think the green is yes, the green is, this is the thinnest one. So this is a Pilot 1.5. I think I'm going to play with this. I'm going to play because I haven't had a play and I need to get off this thing about playing and just going for it. My daughter's just done the most wonderful sketches and I can't put a pen to paper. So it's my boring floral design, but it can give you, and it's quite a wet ink is this. And how it works is the I love these Isoglass rotring pens. I've been drawing with them for years, since I was 16. And it's kind of like a tube with a piece of wire sticking out. And what they've done here is they've just kind of nipped it in the bud. So you've got you've got kind of a bent tube, a squashed tube, but you have a continuous line. And of course, if you go that way, so for calligraphy, I think it's for calligraphy. I'm not, I can't spell, so I'm dyslexic. But this is a lovely pen. That's the, what did I say? That was the 1.5. And I think I've got some ink in this one, have I? No, I haven't got some ink in this one. But just bear with me 2 seconds and we'll put some in. And I'm hoping that these are the same. I'm hoping that these go in here. A bit of a look. It's looking good. Oh, good. Because I didn't want to go back. So this one is the Pilot 3.8. And if we're going for it, we may as well pop one in the orange as well then. No, I've got that one in there. So I'll just do a bit of a squiggle. Never played with these actually, so maybe I shouldn't do this. It looks like the ink's actually travelled down. It's very smooth at both sides. Really glides lovely. Yes, Pilot. Sorry, Dorothy, you did ask me, darling. Parallel pens. I bought the set of 3. They're a bit expensive, but I decided, and I've had them for years. Well, not years. I had them for about a year, I think maybe. And I don't like them because you've got to buy refills, and then the tight Yorkshire Lass. I like to fill these up because these just fill up. But you can't have everything, and at some point you have to think, let's go for it. So if I don't know what you do with this, but in theory you just always put the lid on, then you never damage the lid. Oh, and we're away. So this one is the Pilot Parallel Pen 3.8. So again, apologies for boring design, but it's my floral design that I designed when I was 16, together with my Bunny Designs logo. So it's from 1978, I think. If anybody wants to dispute my logo, it's older than. Oh, it's quite nice. It has some gorgeous it's quite nice to work with, and it goes from fine to really chunky, so you can get some really nice works on that one. And then the last one is Idiot's Test, and I failed. But this is going to be brave for me if I use these, because I'm such a tight girl normally. I work very fine, and I can't get this out of my head. So I think I did show a drawing I did of a tassel, and if I tell you that the tassel is almost exact, the tassel is almost exact. I don't actually know where it is, but I think you just have a couple of taps, just gently, never be rough with ink pens. It's lovely and smooth, but oh, there's a little pen that's obviously going to do its thing eventually. But if I start flicking ink, then... But that's very good from just straight out of the pot. It will be there. It's just, I'm just being a little bit gentle because I normally end up with it all over my face, and I think it's... Come on, play ball. Yes, the ink's down there. It's down there. It's just... There we are. So this one is the... Oh, it's not as thick as that one, is it? Sorry. Oh, I didn't look at the end. Duh. Oh, I've lost the ticket off it. So this one is thinner, slightly thinner, but it's quite nice to work with. So you've got a really nice... I haven't got the ink going yet, probably. But... And then you can turn it over and go that way as well. And I think this is why these are so popular, is it doesn't matter which... I've got the ink going now, look. You can go that way, you can go that way, you can go that way, you can go that way. So you're left, right-handed, whichever handed you are. And again, I think that's why they give... Whereas when you're doing calligraphy, you've got to flick hands and you can only go in one direction at once. That would drive me insane, especially being left-handed. So again, this is just my boring floral design, but the pen's doing quite nicely. Now the ink's flowing beautifully. And you can have some quite nice fine lines and then play about with the thicknesses. So they look okay. That's in that way. I've got them in wrong order. I've got fine, fat, and thin, or medium, shall we say? So they've all got something. They've all got something. And again, I say, first time I've used them, not washed them out. They've got nothing in them. I've just put the pen in there, the ink in there. Slightly drive me insane because I can draw with the others for a long time, but that means I've now got to carry around these. I think they can be different colours as well, actually, but I've put the black ones in now, so we'll be black. So that's the Pilot. The Pilot Propel Pen, P-A-R-A-L-L-E-L. I think I realised that it was only a little bit more for the full set, but they are pretty good. And as I say, you can work them both ways in your hand, and that I think is easy. I think that's the easiest bit. So actually, what I should do is do the Idiot's Test and put we'll put the 3.8 millimeters. You'll have to forgive me, I'm left-handed, so I draw completely the... this is the... Oh, it's not the fine one. I think that's the fine one, isn't it? No, that's the fine one. And this would be the 1.5. trying to do it so you can see it. And so the final one will be the 2.4. Yes. Oh, I hope I haven't started a stampede on. Yeah, they are quite good, aren't they? I have to say, I've had them. Oh, disgrace, not even out of the pot. Never mind. They're out now for Inktober. So could have a look at that. And I was going to write what they were. Duh. They are the Pilot. Oops, I'll put it down here. They are the Pilot. Just have to double check how you spell that, because I think they've put Pilot. Oh, I've spelt it wrong now. Oh gosh, how did I do that? Nope, propelling, not pro. Pilot, parallel, pen. And that's the idiot's test so far. I failed that one. So they're the Pilot parallel pen. And I think you get a cartridge and a set, but I can't remember where from. That's quite nice. That's quite good. So that's the first play. Can't believe I'm wasting paper like this. It's just not like me, but that's fine. So as I say, Cornelius is in London, which is behind the British Museum. So we had a little walk to Russell Square, to Bloomsbury, and then we had I had a bit of a walk, and then we had another bit of a walk around the back to Russell Square Park, where we had some lunch, and I had a glass of wine and sat with the girls and hubby, and then we walked through the park. Oh, they pushed me through the park, and a little bit further on, we went, which was 15 minutes, but it was enough for me. I can't walk for more than 5. So they pushed me to Cornelius's, and I think I looked as old as Cornelius's, which is 1870 some. But I'm obsessed by James Tissot. Amazon, and also Cult Pens have them. Oh well, thanks Dorothy. Amazon and oh gosh, I'm going to write that down because I can't speak this morning. So if I write that down, and everybody else can have a look then. Thanks, Dorothy. That's fab. I'm a bit of a slow coach. So Amazon. Andalson. And also, I can't think where I got mine from. Was that in a set of 3, Dorothy? Oh, wow. I'm sorry, I couldn't be in the lunch hour. I'd never get back to work. So in Cornelius's, they had, they did have this pen actually. I think it's about 10 or 12 pounds. It's a bit longer than that, but it was attacked by the cat. And it's, I did have it near, but I think it's got ferreted away. It was in a calligraphy set. Oh my. Oh no, it's not that. I was going to say, if it was right in front of me, I would have fallen over with shock. So that's one pen. But then we went to say Cornelius's, and they have little drawers about the size of this table, probably 10, 20, 30 to 40 inches across. Quite a big table, and they're little thin drawers, and you pull them out and there's hundreds of little tiny nibs in little sections, and you just don't know which to pick. And then they have 3 drawers with the pens, and now I have hundreds of these. But I saw this one thought I had to have it. I love sepia ink, have to say, obsessed with brown ink, absolutely obsessed. So I'll just go on about that. So this was the original Prout's drawing ink. I think I'm going to be naughty. I'm going back to Cornelius's, and I think I'm going to buy some their original sepia ink, because I'm obsessed with James Tissot. Oops, I haven't played with this before, so. And anybody that does calligraphy, please forgive me. And I'm left-handed as well, so I mess everything up. So James Tissot, when I was 16, I went to Leeds Art Gallery, and there was a painting in front of me called The Bridesmaid, and that's the reason I draw. Oops, I did with the E, but it didn't come out. And I loved it. And it's a girl climbing out of a Victorian carriage at a wedding, but she's a bridesmaid. But the groom is giving her the eye, and the bread boy is next to it. But there's a mistake. There's 3 hands on the back of the girl's shoulder, which is amazing. And it's the first thing I saw. But James Tissot is fab. Anyway, back onto that. So yeah, quite like this. I don't know. I keep putting the lid on because I'm obsessed by dropping things. Don't know why I wrote James Tissot there. So I may just move the camera down slightly, because I don't think you will be able to see what I'm doing. So bear with me 2 seconds. I have to bring pot of ink without its lid on. Not a good idea. Right, we will have that. And bear with me 2 seconds. I'll just have a bit of a play. The colour's a lot better on the camera. I've been having a bit of a play. I messed up chat this morning, but then I've been having a bit of a play. The only problem is the pen is longer than the space. So there's going to be a little bit of tapping going on, so I do apologise. I shall just put chat back on, if that's okay. Oops. Oh, it didn't take me long to do that. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to, how can we do this? There. I'm going to hold this because, so if I dip in here, I then have to hold this quite firmly down. So that's got that gorgeous scratchy pen noise. I don't know if you can hear that. Isn't that amazing? Oh, it's gorgeous. Not sure. I think the moleskin, because it's quite fine, would do that. But this paper is because it takes that little bit of ink, and it takes. I think it's got a bit of a tooth, not too much. I think I'm probably going to have to pour that into an inkwell. I could use my inkwell. I bought a Victorian inkwell, and I've never used it. It's probably yeah. You see, this one you have to use traditionally, so you'll draw it in a certain position, and then you draw it back, which doesn't lend itself very well to my design. But it's not doing so bad, considering. Just love that scratchy traditional. You can just imagine these. It's quite therapeutic, actually. Just forever writing letters, creating beautiful letters. I hope you don't find that's like grating chalk on a chalkboard. But this is my little Chinese design. And we were very privileged in the 70s, early 80s. They let 16-year-olds have scalpels and draw life drawing as well. And I've always carried a scalpel around and a penknife. Only a little diddy one. Only way to sharpen a pencil. In theory, it should never ever break if you sharpen it with a scalpel. And as long as you keep your fingers out of the way, I have one rule, and I've taught my children to use it, and they use a scalpel. If it slips, is it going to hurt you? If it is, don't use it in that position. And that's with any knife. If the knife can slip, what's it going to do? And if it's going to do any damage to you or your favourite thing, move it, change positions, don't do it. It's the last thought that goes through your head before you strike the scalpel blade down. And then you can never cut yourself. Having said that, I've cut myself. But not when I've done anything like that, only by accident, because I've not put the rubber band on it. Or I always have an eraser as well. I have to have an eraser. Sorry, I'm in the zone. I apologise. It's a little bit addictive. So that one is, it doesn't say what nib it is. I don't know if you can see. Oh, it will do if I put the lid on here. So that's a sepia. It's kind of a dark brown. It's a nut brown. I like that. But we'll go into here. Oh, another pot. Freshly opened. Wow. And I'm terrible for cleaning my things. I just put it in the water pot, which is probably a bit naughty. But anyhow. Right. So let's have a look at this one. This one is the same. I've just got a little bit of something on there. Right. So again, this is the Kandahar drawing ink. It's black Indian ink. I normally use rotary Indian ink, but if it's permanent black ink, this is by Dale Rowney. So again, we'll just have a bit of play. And if I try to get that up to the top, and please, anybody, as Dee Dee says, don't email me the fact that I am crucifying this pen. It's just how I roll. And I am playing with about 4 inches off the, so I can't get some lovely squirrels. But if I mix them in, you can see the blacks and the browns. And again, I think that might be nice for Inktober. Use the same pen, but different colours, but just slightly different colours. Does that make difference? Like that nut brown is not far from there, so. Oh, I'm really sorry I could fill this page. I was going to do this as a free giveaway on my website for people to colour in. You just print it off, if I'm clever enough, and then it's just going to be just my floral design. It's quite boring, but it's something to colour and it's free. So if anybody's interested or think it might be okay, let me know, because this is quite mindless. This is thinking about this rather than how much pain my foot is in if I move it. So I'd much prefer to do this. And this pen is behaving extremely well. I'm just moving it in every direction. And if you point it, that's how fine it will go. Everybody's still with me? I'm actually putting quite a lot of pressure on that, so if I just slow it down. And if you wanted your pen to work for longer, so if you had a longer stroke you wanted, then there are I'll probably bring them out for the next Inktober I do. If I get a chance tomorrow morning, I might pop on, not tomorrow morning, sorry, Wednesday. I'll pop on in the morning and I'll make some videos because I find this a little bit easier than oops. So I quite like this. I'm going to move that ink. what you can get is at the bottom here, not on all of them, you can get, and I forgot the word, it's like a little pan. It's called a pan or a shovel, and it sits behind, so when you dunk in, it'll hold almost like a fingernail amount, and then when you're drawing, it slowly dribbles it in, and that allows you to continuously, not continuously, but it allows you to do some longer strokes without having to refill. But this is not doing so bad, this at all. I must have put quite a lot on that. It is a big nib, this one. I'll show you another one in a minute, which is a real cheap and cheerful one. And I mean, my daughter's just in the most beautiful colours. She's into green, and she bought a pot of green ink for £3 something, and she bought the little cheap, I've got about 6 of them, I'll find them in a second, and I'll go through that one because that's my favourite. I love that one. I take it everywhere with me. The nib pops back into the top. It's nice to hold, and if I lose it, it's £1.50, £1.99, something like that. So quite like that. It is a bit messy though, have to say. It's not the cleanest thing. I have a water pot there. So that was quite nice. Still like the nut brown, but you know, ink is ink, isn't it? Bless. A baby wipe would be a good idea probably, because that would be able to get the ink from there. And then make sure that that is lovely and clean, which is something that I never do. I'm terrible. And what you have to do is nip it, be strong, and pull. Oh gosh, pull, and that will tell you that is a Leonard with a T, 30 England. And if I try and do my magic trick, and for some reason it doesn't like my nail varnish. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. I can't keep my hand still, that's probably what it is. Oh, there we are, look, Leonard 30 England. But that's a nice size, and I think because it's getting quite a lot of ink in there, it's allowed me to play. Normally it's one and a dunk, that's it. You don't get all that lovely yumminess. I'm going to actually pop that back in there because, and these are really good, get different size nibs. So the idea is to play, get the nib you like, and then get the handle you like, and make sure that it will sit in there. Doesn't be too tight, but does not want to be loose, and that is definitely in there. So if you bear with me 2 seconds. So anybody got any questions? I'll pop that back onto there a second, and then but I wanted to have a play because I wasn't sure what I was going to use for Inktober, and I wasn't brave enough to do it last year. So hopefully we're in focus. I keep thinking I have my trolley near me, so I have everything. I'm not sure what I did with that. So Cornelius is round the back from the British Museum, and then if you walk round the corner again, we had a bit of a rest. Then if you walk round the corner again, you get to Tottenham Court Road, and then you can just follow that round, and you come down to Charing Cross and Cass Art. And Cass Art has fab. Excuse me. Fab offers. I've had some coffee this morning, and it's really upset my stomach. I don't normally have coffee. I normally have like 3 cups of tea, but it really does not agree with me, doesn't coffee. I love the smell of coffee, but it just makes me so ill. Sorry about that. So, bear with me. I've got this new little toy thing here. It's not playing. So that was that one. We've had a play with this one. So I'll leave those there for a second. Look at that. I'm going to have to cover that. It was attacked by the cat. That's really bad. It's a naughty dog, naughty cat. So bear with me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go get my... I can't believe it's not here. And if it's not here, where is it? It's in the pink. I have a little bag that I carry around with. I'm getting like a real old woman. I have a bag with pills and drawing things, and I have a bag. There's a handbag. So you just have to bear with me 2 seconds. If I get up, the puppy will get up. I've got like a couple of inches to squish around in my daughter's gone to university, and I'm seriously thinking about stealing her room. Does that make me a bad mother? So just bear with me 2 seconds. I don't know where the little pink bag is. Yes, the puppy's getting up. Take this horrible cold coffee away before it upsets me. Yes, no problem. Oh, Alfie, monster, dog. Oh, right. Excuse me. Thank you. Excuse me. Come on, Trouble. Thank you. In here. Alfie Doodles, you are a disgrace. You were a disgrace, Alfie Pants. You are such a disgrace. Oh, sorry about that. Right. That was a little white when I was playing with. And oh, that's a little book that I... Oh no, that isn't a little book, is it? These are my watercolours. I've forgotten I've done these. This is my little book design. I play about with little books and things. These are quite nice little books to carry around. This is my... Oh, I've got one missing. Oh, cardinal sin, what's that? That's another little size which is quite nice as well. I'm getting obsessed with having baby wipes, and when you're a mum and you've got children, you have baby wipes and you have all sorts of other things. And then when you get older, you think, oh, I can get rid of that bag. And now I've got a bag with pills in, and strange. And Alfie's disgraced himself in the kitchen, haven't you? And he's looking at me going, it wasn't me. Well, it was you. That's my little design. This is what I used to play with. These are the Karen Dashner colour 2s. That got me obsessed by the ivory one. I can't find any sketch. I've got lots of sketchbooks everywhere, but nothing that I can really show at the moment. So this is my fave, have to say, the Rotering. And number 18 must be in here. Oh, down you see. We'll come to those last because that's a long. These are quite interesting. I love these. Oopsie, sorry. Oops, it's not good. I taught my children to draw with a biro. Because, as I said it before, there's the 18. And that's the ink that I took to London that I didn't use. I must learn not to do this. Have to learn. I should be old enough now and wiser. So another lovely pen, which is quite nice, which we'll go through, is this one. And this is fab, and I like to draw with it. And it's called a carbon pen. So if I just write on there, what this was the traditional ink pen, wasn't it? Yes. I had a baby wipe out somewhere. And I haven't used this for a long time. But in England, I don't think we have a lot of problems. Some people say that these just dries out. Again, it's a what did we call this one? This was a traditional ink pen. It's a dip. I'll come back to this one. Just realised that's what I got up for. I haven't gone through that yet. So that was a bit expensive. That I think it was like £2.99, £3.99, maybe £4.99, and the nib was a couple of pounds. But this is my baby that I've had since I was at college. Bought a new one. I think the £1.50, the plastic, and the nib pops in. Oh, hi, little P. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. I'm just going through all my pens for Inktober because I thought it's time I got sorted. So I'm going through all my ink pens and just having a bit of a play in some cheap sketchbook papers, sketchbooks that I bought from Cass Art in London. So quite good for supplies. So I've just gone through the dip pen. This is a little plastic one, but it's really fine. So I'll just go back there a second. I just have to have a quick slurp, sorry. I hope the volume's okay. As I say, I've moved the camera and it's right in front of my mouth. So if I'm shouting, please tell me to shut up. So I bought this original Sprouts brown ink from Cornelius's, which is behind. I had a bit of a trek out to London because it was the last day that all the girls would be together and hubby would be off work before they all trundled off to university and college. So we decided we'd have a day out, and I wanted to go to Cornelius's. So I'm having a bit of a play. I'm going to push that up there. And this is a really fine, and just love that scratch. This is a real fine pen. You can nip it gently to get bigger lines, like all the dip pens you can do that with, whereas you very carefully bend it very gently. I don't normally do that because I don't vary my lines, but you can do. But I would draw this fine. I just double check, see if I'm in focus, and you can see that that's a mapping pen. Is it a mapping pen, Doris? Thank you. I thought it probably would be, but it's a cheap and cheerful one. As I say, I think there are, actually it does say something on it, but I can't read what it says. But they're brilliant for kids. This is the first pen I bought my daughters when they were younger, and that I taught them to draw with a biro, not a pencil. And now my daughter she bought one of these, and she bought an ink pen, and she's just sat in front of the television and done the most amazing things with this pen. So you don't need expensive things. You just need, it's a little bit feathery as this one. Don't you just love that scratch? But it's a lot finer than the other two. If I just squiddle down a little bit more, and I found a new trick, I think. 2 seconds. If I put that there, get the light. Do we think we're in focus? Is everybody in focus? Can you hear? And can you see? So I'm going to have to move the ink because that's my little pot of ink. And it's probably half the size, half the length of where the camera is. This pen is a little bit shorter. This pen is... And that's the beauty of it. It goes in a pencil case, but you don't damage the lid, the nib, because you have a little, it fits into the top. Now I did have a ruler there. Whoops, I just tipped up my ink. This one is without the nib. It's, well, if I do that. Look, without the nib it's 4.5, and with the nib it's just short of 6, and that's full of ink now. But for kids it's brilliant. What they're going to do if they snap the end of it, I don't mean children, I mean children that can draw. Sorry, I rephrase that. Some children can draw at 10, some can draw at 15, but when they're at that stage where pens and pencils, but give them a black biro, tell them to look at something for, well, I say 90% looking. Look at something for at least 20 minutes and then start drawing. That's what I've taught mine. So I just love that scratch. And I say, please forgive me if everybody's screaming in agony because of my bad way of using these pens. But I've used one of these for a long time. I love it. Only thing is, a bit difficult on the train, but no, I have taken small pots of ink on the train. Just can't. You've got to use it more like a traditional one, and only go in one direction, really, not backwards. It does it a bit, but I don't really want to destroy that beautiful point I've got there. I really don't want to destroy that, so that's fab. So I'm going to put the lid on that one. I'm just trying to think where all mine are. I just can't think. I have them somewhere. But that's quite a nice little find, and as I say, it's not too expensive, so it's quite nice for playing about with. And Cassart had the inks for £7, I think. So I thought that was Touch, but it's not Touch, is it? No. I've got a little pen somewhere, so I'm just trying to just make sure that I'm in frame. So that's that going. So did everybody find that interesting? So that's the, and you say it is plastic. So that was that dip pen. I'll just very quickly see if I can get. Oh, yes, the dog's under the foot as well. Let's see if I can jiggle out this way now. I'm seriously thinking about moving rooms because I like my dining room. I do like my dining room. And I miss having a table. I miss having a dining table. I really do. And so, oh dear. Yes. So in my little box of tricks here, I might just lift that up a little bit. In my box of tricks, I have a little drawer, and yes, I've got one of those. That's one of the other dip. Oh yes, how many? I think I've got more than Cornelius's have. Couldn't decide which colour. So this is a bit naughty. Oh my, yes, she's right. I do have these. I have 2 of those as well. I do know I don't have an expensive one though. Really like that green one, but looks like it's seen better days. Definitely seen better days. 2, 3. Did I really need to buy another one? 4. I've already got 4. The kids bought one each. 5. Whoopsie. Oh, I could do a giveaway though, couldn't I? I could do a giveaway with a new one. That'd be good for Inktober. You really get there. Why is my needle? Where's my Victorian needle threader in there? I don't know where that is now. Found another one. They have these at Cornelius's as well, a couple of pounds, but I think I bought them from the works, I think. I think we're going to have a bit of a dip with that. Look at that one. Isn't that amazing? I haven't got a clue how long I've had these. I've got some Chinese brushes that I've had for years. And it's quite nice to have a bit of a play. Sorry if it's tinkling too much. So this one, I think I bought these for the kids. They've got like a... Yeah, so we'll see. That's got a nice point on that one. Looks like I've played with. Oh, look at this one. I don't know if this is a proper. Yeah, this is a proper Chinese one with a brush on the end. Look, isn't that amazing? Oh, good luck, Dorothy, darling. Yes, been there yesterday. Seen the vampires. Seen the vampires. My mum-in-law's 92, and she says, "I'm going to go see the vampires." Right, I'll take those two out. I think probably we've got enough there. I've split that one. That's not good. And that'll be quite interesting. Again, so any price, cheapy ones are there. I'm nearly up to 100 subscribers. Isn't that amazing? I know Didi's getting excited at 10,000, but I'm just excited because 100 people want to listen to me waffling on about absolute rubbish. Well, it's not absolute rubbish, but I mean it's my thing. There I look in here. Woohoo. That's odds and ends of pens to put together. The rotary pens, the isographs. Now that says repeater line, and that's a different one, but that's quite fine, that one. Haven't even played with those yet. Bit of an ink obsession, I have to say. Definitely. Definitely obsessed by ink pens. Is anybody else like that? So thank you everybody for popping in and popping out. It's wonderful that everybody wants to have a bit of a watch of me. Right, I shall pop that back down there again. Now these are going to be a bit difficult because these are oopsie, can't measure today. These are about 7.5 to 8 inches. So you're going to have a big space for one of these. So I'm going this one first because it looks quite interesting. Oops, yeah, sorry. Right, so a bit of a dip and then away we go. Ooh, that's lovely. That almost sounds like a pencil. That has like a pencil. Ooh, that's nice. It definitely has a pencil effect. And you can do some unusual things with this. I think this is an expensive one. I don't think this is one of the cheaper ones. I think the other ones are only about £1 or £2. Really like getting quite into this now. I have to say, thought I was just going to pick up my boring isographs, but this is going to be quite interesting. I probably have, if I have 30 pens, odd pens, 31 pens, I might do 30 different ones. Really liking this, have to say. That's like a pencil, a nice soft pencil stroking the page. Oh, Dorothy says, if you want to see some posh pens, look at www Pen Soft. Oh, Pens of the Forest. Ooh, have to do that. Thank you, Dorothy, for that. Brilliant. I have to start writing all these things down because I forget things. I love Dee Dee's post-it notes, but I'd lose mine. Definitely like these. I've watched A Gentleman with Ink Pens, and he has one that's 500-600, but then he bought one from Japan, and quality-wise, it's not far behind it, so I bought one of those. Tight Yorkshire Lass. Yeah, quite like that. That's the brown then. Like that. obviously been really naughty and not clean this, but I would think it's not a good idea to put it in water because it will damage it. So I'm just wiping it. Yes, Little P. Little P says, I love the fact it doesn't scratch. Yeah, there's no of that traditional scratchy. It just feels like a pencil. So we'll try it in the Indian ink and see what that does. And I'm not dipping it too far. I'm running out of space now, but yeah, it just really feels like a thick pencil, and it just gets paler. So I'm quite enjoying myself. Now, whether my hand will be driving me insane tonight isn't holding a pen, but if it's for 1 month, I can do that. Yes, my little dog has disgraced himself again. He's been up twice. But he's disgraced himself. And he sits under there with his puppy eyes looking at me going, it wasn't me. So he's in disgrace under the table now. But yeah, I like this. And I would think you could do some quite nice, really nice marks if you didn't want to be the type person I am. You can do some quite nice. That's quite a fine line as well. If you use it completely completely vertical, you get a lovely line. Now I'm definitely playing now because it's not like me to do this. Yep, like that. So if you go back up to the dip pen, which was scratchy, now how amazing is that? They don't look much different, do they? They don't look a lot different. I'll see if I can squidge in a little bit more. They look okay, don't they? And then that's the fine line. So you wouldn't think that such a big bamboo cut piece could give you such a lovely fine line. So that's quite nice to play with that. I'll just clean that one off there. And of course at the other end there is a paintbrush. There is an ink brush, which doesn't look like I've ever used because I'm a bit of a chicken, so let's have a bit of a play. So I have dampened it because I think they all come with a glue. I've got some Chinese brushes I had when I was 16. My cousin bought me, and I've still got them. So I'm going to be naughty. I'm going to put that on there. Oh no, I might as well play with the black. So I'm using it, just stroking the excess off and I'm also trying to get that to that lovely fab point on there, which I'm not sure we can see. Fingernail. Does it like it? No. Nope. But it is a very fine, it's almost like a needle at the end. I'm just going to pop the top on the ink because I can see myself spilling that. Right, so let me have a little play. Here. And that's quite nice as well. I'm trying to think how fine you could get the line. That's almost a dog hair, I have to say. I don't even think you can see that, can you? Can you see that? I hold that up. Bear with me 2 seconds. That's almost a dog hair. Wide. See if I can do that. I might not be able to get that to the point again. Just bear with me 2 seconds, see if I can get the point. And I need to dunk it in. Dunk it in and stroke it round until you get the point. So we'll go back to this fine, that was Dorothy's mapping pen, and might not be able to see what I'm doing, but I'll show you when I've done it. Keep knocking it on there. Just going in the zone, and then that's how thick it would go. So if I hold that up to there, oopsie, it's not going to show it, is it? Is it? Why does the light do that? Just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to turn this off and then hold that over there. And try and hold it steady, and you should see that's how fine, so it's nearly as fine as the mapping pen, and that's just with the hair twisted to a point. And there's obviously a lot in there as well, so that's going to be interesting to play with that one as well. And if you split it, oops, you get 2 and you just put the ink in. And obviously with this angle I can't get that lovely point back again. Let's roll it on my finger and put Indian ink all over my hands. And I think this is very freeing as well though. So if you bear me 2 seconds, I'll just see if I can take that off. Sorry about playing with that, it just gives that a bit of an edge. It was quite fab, that. I'm quite impressed with that. I haven't played with that in a long time. Well, I've never played with that one. So I was quite impressed with that, I have to say. I think that might have to come out for Inktober, pretty sure. I don't think I remember seeing one with a brush on the end, but I would think you can get them anywhere now. They used to be very expensive. But I think they're quite cheap now, so I think that's going to go back in the pencil case. Quite like that, yes, like that. So that's that one. I don't think we need to use this one. I think these are the cheapy ones. They'll do the same thing. I mean, that was split, that one, and it's still quite okay. So has anybody else got any questions? I'll just have a quick slurp. So far we have a dip pen, we have the Chinese brush and pen. I'm going to put ink everywhere, I know I am. And we've got the feather, traditional feather. I think that's it, supposedly for calligraphy. And I had the little one, the little mapping pen that Dorothy said, which is plastic, a couple of pounds. That's a new one, so it's quite fine. And what else have we got? I can't think what else we used. So it was that one and that one and that one, and then we had those. I can't think what else we used, but I quite like. So they're all dipping. You've got to keep dipping with those. Some people might find that a bit ugh, but it's quite therapeutic. I did love the scratchy of the traditional pen, but then I absolutely loved, which I'd completely forgotten about, the kind of pencily, strokey, unscratchy sound. So I'm going to pop those over there. I'm going to lift the camera up slightly and put the light back on, because something's happened to my light. I don't know what's happened to my light. And you'll have to excuse my stomach. I say that coffee has really upset my stomach. Right, so that's what we got to start with. We had the 3 pens. What did we have? The Pilot parallel pens. We had the 1.5mm, the thick 3.8mm, and the 2.4mm. A bit pricey, but they will work in any direction, so they were quite nice to use. And then we went on to the dip pens, which is a bit more fiddly. So the next one, I'm going to just put those to one side. I'm going to finish with the fave picks, but I'm going to go back onto this one because I like this one. This is the carbon pen, and in England we don't really have dry, humid weather. Not normally anyway. This is really nice. So if I write this one down, what did I say? It's the carbon pen, it's called. You can see me drawing with it. Might be slightly better. Something's happened to the light and it's not nice, and I don't know why. Is it the Oh, wait a minute. Is it because this has come on? This silly thing here has come on. Oh, no, it hasn't. Nope. That looks awful. I wonder if is it this one that's... Sorry, puppy having a moment. I want to know which lamp is flickering because it's driving me insane. I can see it. Does anybody else can see it? Oh, I've just looked directly into a light now. Does that look any brighter? I can't understand what's happened. Maybe because that's grey. Why has it gone like this? I've just tipped my entire pen drawer on the floor. Oops. I'll have to stay there. Oh well. But maybe it's because it does that silly thing. So we'll pop that there, shall we? Does that make it that little bit better? That's looking better. Yes. Right, so we need to have... I wonder where Sooty is. I've lost Sooty. I don't know. It's probably the white, isn't it? Of course it is. Duh. I've lost Sooty. Yes, we've lost Sooty. Never mind. We'll play with this one. So what I'll do is, if I put that there, everything will be cockeyed, but the light will be okay. So this is the carbon pen. I've forgotten where I got it from. I don't know if you can see carbon pen there. Quite fine, nice to draw with. It is refillable cartridges, which I think you have to buy. Unless I bought carbon ink. So again, I wasn't really enamoured about it because tight Yorkshire lass, but I thought it would be quite nice. It goes in any direction. It's not as scratchy. It's almost like a fine pencil. It reminds me of... Oh, you can't see that, can you? How strange. I just play with the thingy. My lamp on my desk is the same as well. Oh, right. Is that bothering everybody? Because I've never noticed it before. But I didn't know if it was this one. Oh, I've turned that one off now. Yes, it's that one, isn't it? It is that one. I have a daylight lamp, but I never noticed it before. Unless it's because I've moved it. I've kind of moved it. That's better. I think it's the little one. What I'm doing is I'm using the little one to prop the camera up, because then I'm not knocking it all the time. That's what I'm trying to do. So if I put that down to there, you can see the shadow. But can you see this fine? This is like a fine pen. No, you can't see that though now when I do that. So I'll just play a little bit, see if I can get it going a bit. My camera's on the end of there. That's thanks, little P. I'll try that. Just have one last go with the autofocus. That's better. Can you all see that? Is that slightly better? This is like drawing with, and as you can see, I'm going in all different directions. And if you keep it completely vertical, you get a continuous line in any direction, which is quite lovely. Yes, it is a beautiful pen, and it's quite fine as well. It's quite fine, I have to say. And I haven't used this pen for months. Must be at least 6 months. Before Christmas even, maybe. And I've just taken the top off it. There was a little bit of ink, but it's been kicking about in the pencil case. So it's been to London 4 times. It's been all over the country, not kicking about, but it's been in a pencil case. It hasn't been sat carefully on a desk. That is a really nice pen. So you could get some really gorgeous hatchings and cross hatchings with that, and some nice shading. And then of course, if you and you could scribble with it as well, so that's quite nice. Is that all in focus? Can everybody see? Can everybody see that? But that is, yeah, I could get carried away with that. I need to clean the top actually, and I'm getting ink everywhere, so I'm gonna have a new baby wipe. Yeah, I don't do well with ink. It ends up absolutely everywhere. But hey ho. Then we've got these Pilot Ultra Liquid High Tech Cartridge 1.5. I thought I'd have a bit of a play with all these. And again, if you're doing Inktober, you know, these are going to last you. You're going to get a month out of this, unless you're completely really fine one. But I mean, you know, that's a continuous line. That's like having an a 6B pencil. It's quite nice. And I don't know how much these are. I can't remember. I know some are a bit of a price and some are not. So that's quite a nice. So that's the Pilot cartridge system. And in my other things I have, this is what I used for my design on a napkin. When I was drawing on a napkin, this is what I used. I was going to try and see if I could poke that little hole there, but it will probably go on the floor with it. If I'm really lucky, it will just come out. I don't think so this is a single layer of napkin, and I wanted to do watercolouring on a napkin, but I want to do my own designs. So if I just put that up there a little bit, but you can't have anything scratchy. This will be perfect, but it's a piece of wire sticking out of basically out of a tube. Absolutely no good for anything to do with tissues because it snags. So I used this one. I'm going to take my glasses off now. So you need to keep it quite taut. So my idea would be if I tape this down completely flat and ironed it, a little bit like you do traditional watercolour, and then you can very carefully draw your own design on a napkin. Can you see that? I can't see now. And this is the best pen, says she. I can't put her finger on it now. The white one that I use all the time. here somewhere. Now this has actually got a broken nib, but it's full of ink, so I use it. This is perfect for I don't know if I can do it with this nib, but I lent it to my daughter and she bent the nib. I was very cross, and it's quite fine. The problem is, and it's got a lovely, like a roller. It's got it just glides over. You very rarely snag the single layer of tissue of napkin. You can just keep going and going and going. But the problem is, it's not waterproof. So if I'm not careful, I smudge it. So I progressed to this one, which is the Staedtler Pigment Liner 0.05. I do hope you can see this and it's not. And again, that just strokes quite nicely. So this allows me to do my own designs on a napkin. Now, why anybody would want to do that, I don't know, but it was different and I loved it. And it's quite therapeutic. And that is a lot finer, that one. That's nice and fine, and that's permanent. So that allows me to draw my own designs and colour them in. So for drawing, and it does go through, but for drawing, it's quite nice and fine. It allows you to get some nice lines. Again, bit like a pencil, glides. There's no dragging. There's no kind of, oh, can't use this. It's too. It just glides lovely. That's quite a nice one as well. So that one's the Staedtler Pigment Liner 0.05. And the last one I've been using is the Micron 005 Archival ink. Ink for waterproof and faith-proof lines. I think I've used this one as well. So let me just have a go. It bleeds a little bit, but that's because I'm going slow. Doesn't really catch. I don't think it really catches. It's not as nice as the, I have to say it's not as nice as the Staedtler. But for drawing, really crisp black lines. Glides across the page in any direction. So it's wonderful for being creative. That's quite a nice one. Oh, right, like upside down, lying flat. Well, I do keep them in a drawer, I have to say. It's just because I've been wanting to use it, I've popped it in my pencil case. So that's 2 or 3. I think some of these are like £2, £3, £4, possibly 5. This one is a bit more expensive. I love this one. It's just helped. I can't find the one that hasn't got the broken nib. But for drawing, it's got a broken nib and it's still absolutely, if I do it like that, that's what it's supposed to look like. It's a fab pen, except for you have to refill it, or you have to throw it away when it's done, and that just breaks my little Yorkshire heart. I'm sorry. So those are the pens that you could use. I don't know what this one is. I say I've got hundreds. There's gel pens, there's black drawing pens. There's quite a few, so I've got 5 of those, which is quite enough of those, I think. This is another thing that I've gotten hardly used. It is a Pentel colour brush, and I've put a brown into my. Oh, I think I have got a brown. So it's like a brush. No, tell a lie. This is black. So again, this is a fine line. It's a brush. It's how. Oh dear, puppy alert! The postman. Puppy alert. So again, this is quite nice if you want to be that little bit freer. You can have some really fine lines because obviously it's a brush tip. It's quite fine, but you could also do that with it, which of course is very creative. These are a little bit expensive, and then of course you've got the added thing of not filling it up. Having said that, because I've bought the printing inks with like a fat syringe, obviously nowhere to go near your hands or anything, I think it will refill that, so I'm going to have to play with that, because then that means I can refill that. So it now becomes one of my favourite brushes. So that's the Pentel colour brush. So I think I might have to have a bit of a play with that as well. And then you can go to the other thing that I was doing, which is what I always do. I didn't really want to play with that one, but I will do. This will probably be my fave thing. I'll try and keep that separate because that's kind of... Oh, mind you, it doesn't really matter. I'm just making a mess. So I hope everybody's finding this interesting. So this is my cheapie, I'll say. It was £5, but it's a 030, but it's a rigger. So in the olden days, the masters used to do the tall galleons, and then they wanted the lines of the sheets of all the rigging, and they had to draw a long continuous line. Oh, you can't see that, sorry. Bear with me 2 seconds. See if I can play with the we've lost our sooty, haven't we? Lost the colours. See if I can just get that a little bit better. I'll pop it down there slightly. You'll have to bear with me just a bit with the shadow. Now that should stop. That should stop any just a lot of fiddling. Sorry, I want to show you. You can see those fine lines. Oh, puppy alert, he could be up any minute. So I'm just taking the rigger and I'm just stroking it across. Oh, that was with my right hand, sorry. But really, really fine lines. And again, that's quite nice because you can create some really nice fine lines. And then if you want, you can shade a little bit as well. And there's no reason why, excuse me, you can't just... I've got an ink pot and a water pot open. There's no reason why you can't shade. That's another thing I used to do, is draw with and then shade with ink, push the ink about. That's quite nice as well. So it eventually gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So you've got the added advantage of having this pencil. Oops. This very, very fine brush, but then you can go and do that if you wanted. Now that's ink and water, so I don't know if that's allowed. This Inktober's got to be just inks. I do want to keep this brush nice because this is the one I'm using with my watercolouring. But that's quite nice. But my ultimate favourite that I've been drawing with for, I hate to say, a lot of years, I'll just put the lid on that one for obvious reasons, and we'll find number 18. Oh no, that's the 35. Where's number 18 gone? Oopsie, sorry. This is my fave pen. It's a sheet. And basically, the isograph were for the oh, it's not going to work now. Yes, it is. It's full of ink. Basically, they were for the designers and draftsmen to be quite precise. And so you get some quite, oops, you get some really fine lines, really fine lines. Do we think that's in focus? Is everybody okay with that? Just give me 2 seconds, see if I can just bring that up to be. That's probably the best I think I can get. That's not very good, is it? I've lost this. I've lost Sooty. Don't know what I've done with Sooty. So I've lost my. That's maybe better. That's probably better. Right. So it has a little bubble in it, but you refill these cartridges with Indian ink, traditional Indian ink, and that little ball bearing is gently stroking. No, I haven't used it. I've been messing about with these. But this is the finest one. Oh, hi Dorothy, welcome back, darling, welcome back. Hope the vampires didn't take too much. I'm just trying to get that penguin. Can't get that one doing. So this was the set. I always had the 25, and then in the set there was the 18. I think my children have been playing with these. I don't normally let them near this isn't. Oh, this is the new one. I don't normally let them, but I've had one of these since I was 16, and it's been everywhere with me. You see, this is one of the. Just open it up, and you just start to draw. I don't know if you can see that. I'll try and it's basically a tube with a fine wire, and the ink dribbles down the wire. Isn't that amazing? But these are wonderful for that, for drawing, doodling, cross hatching. Anything you want. They are pretty good, and it's Indian ink, it's permanent ink, refillable, tight Yorkshire lass. They are about £30, but I've had mine since I was 16. But they're pretty good. Is that what I've just scribbled? Love them. And I sent my daughter to university because she's doing animation and illustration with a set of these. And I've just bought some for my other daughter because that doesn't have any ink in it, so that's not going to work. But I could play with this pen. This would be my thing to save. If you're going to save anything in the house, got to be the pens. Has to be the pens. Have I got anything in there? No. I think I put white in this one actually. No, there's nothing in that one. So what I've done, there's quite a few pens in this set, and some are really quite fat. They go from, but I'm not just obsessed by the fine one, have to say. A little bit obsessed. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift this up gently, hopefully without making everybody sick. and then put that on, because that's the little bit warmer colour, I think. And then I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to turn this over, and I'm just going to do a whole page of these. And then I'll stop the recording and probably do a little bit of watercolouring. But I am obsessed by my ink pens now. So we have this set here. And you get your little ink pot here. That doesn't actually fit, it's a Faber-Castell, but that's a rotoring one. And what do we have? Let's put them in order, because I have old ones and I have new ones, and I don't like, you see, that's worn and that's shiny. But I think I sent my daughter off with a shiny one. So that's an 18, which it says is a 0.18. I'll pop this onto autofocus for the time being, because I'm playing about. And so that's a rotoring isograph. It's not going to play ball, is it? Now the other one was the, what did I call the other one? Rapido. Don't like those, and it's not refillable ink, so a bit of a wet about that, I have to say. That looks brand new, so I think that one goes in there. That's got white ink in it, so that should actually go in there then. But it's a different colour, isn't it? Yeah. I sent my daughter off with the wrong one, but never mind. Never mind. She'll look after them. She's been using them for a good 10 years, I have to say. She's been really good. So there's the 25, which I've just had in my hand. So, yeah, it's just that one that I've got wrong. Oops, wrong around it. That's the 18, and then I want a 35, but I want it with, that's got white ink. I'm going to put that over there. So this is how you fill them. A bit fiddly, over the sink, I told my children. These are brand new. There's a tiny spot of ink in the bottom of here. So, oops, and that's the first thing I've done. And this will not come off. This is Indian ink, permanent Indian ink. Be very careful with it. I normally do it on a kitchen white, but just a couple of I don't put a lot in. And then, oopsie, you want to have this over the sink because it could squish a bit. Just double check it's all dry and all clean, and then you just screw that back into there. And then there's a ball bearing. Now this one's, because it's brand new, I wouldn't do that too much actually, really, should be. And so that's how you fill them. But what I'm going to do, so I'll do this one, but I'm going to have to just maybe clean it because it's not playing ball. So this is the very fine one. Can't get it to go, that one. I don't want to play with it because it's going to get on my nerves. So this is the 0.25 isograph from Rotoring. I was hoping the postman was bringing me some of these, because these are, I'll try and stay in frame. That would be clever, wouldn't it? Let me just put that there. Probably a little bit too far away, do we think? Maybe that might be better. Hopefully that should be fine. Do we look like we're in focus again? I've been playing with it. Shouldn't play with it when you get it there, should you really? Sorry about that. Is everybody okay? Can everybody see that? So if I go back out to here, I think I'm going to have to keep that on the page, I think. And then what that's going to allow me to do is to draw. So these are fab. And it's Indian ink, so it's permanent. It's not going to run anywhere. It's not going to go anywhere. I used one of these with my Neocolor 2s 25 years ago, going around Germany and Europe. And I just doodled and picked up my paintbrush, and the little Neocolor 2s were in little tubes in those days. They were little tiny ones in little sets, and that's what I used. And I just knocked the ink bottle over. Oopsie! Didn't put the lid on. Thank goodness it didn't spill. Looking for the top. I think I have ink in some of these. Oh, I have blue ink. Oh, I went through a funny phase thinking I'll do Inktober last year and I didn't do it. And so I bought a white, a red and a blue ink. Oh, sorry, I haven't got it on messages. I'm sorry, I've just done something with it. So if anybody wants to ask something, so what I'm going to do with this one is just carry on. You can see it still draws beautifully, but this is obviously a lot fatter one. So you don't have to do anything with the pen, you just change the pen and you've got a beautiful, and it just draws forever. You could probably draw for a week without filling it up, using it a lot. Love these pens. A bit expensive to start with, but they'll last you a lifetime if you look after them, and you can refill them. Yay! No buying these darn pens and then having to throw them away when you've kind of run out. It's just, ugh. This is again a little bit bigger. I must have really decided to do Inktober. I think you've got to do it a little bit slower. I've never ever used these fatter ones ever. I only ever use the 25s. So I think that's going to be a big practice for me as well, and to push me out of my comfort zone. And they get bigger and bigger and bigger. No, there's no ink in that one. And this one is huge. Have we got any in there? No. This is the biggest one, isn't it? Wow. I think we're going to have to put some ink in this one. And to clean them, you just wash them out. Whoops. I mean, I do this on the train. I fill them up everywhere, but I've been doing it, say, since I was 16. So I must admit, I am a bit of a dab with this. My children, I tell them to do it over the sink. But I must admit, I am a bit of a dab. But I have been using them for almost 40 years. But they are still my fave pen. Yeah, it's going to take a bit of a while to get that because it's a brand new pen. Always look on Amazon, not Amazon, I'm a bit of a, oops, there we go. Oh, look at this. Whoa. Now, I think this is because this Indian ink is getting a bit, ugh. But that's the fattest one, so the pen's not. I mean, they're basically designed to do lines. That's what they're basically there for. But there's no reason why you can't. You've just got to go quite slow and quite steady to get a perfect line. And then that should be quite okay. That's quite nice actually. It's almost like a watercolour brush. Quite like that actually, I have to say. all these years I've never played with the thickest one, and there it is, looking at me. So there's 2, 4, 6, 8 pens in there. So that's going to keep me going for Inktober as well. So I think I'm probably going to do a different pen every day. I haven't decided what I want to do. I thought about trees, and I had a brilliant idea, and then I forgot what it was. So I can't remember what it was. Now, if I come across that same thing again, I'll remember, if that makes sense. So, love the rotary pens. Love the fact that you can refill them, and if you look after them, you will have a long time. Permanent ink, so you can slap anything on top of it. It's not going to move, which again, I love. So that's my waffle on Inktober. But there's cheaper pens, expensive pens, throwaway pens, keep pens. There's been quite, oh sorry, not the thing. Quite a, I hope you found that interesting. There's been quite an array, shall we say, of pens. Everybody has their favourites, but sometimes it's a good idea to push yourself out of your comfort zone. So I will be doing Inktober. I probably, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I'll have to think about it, because we have 1 or 2 shows in this time. But I've thought about streaming live actually from where I am, but I don't think I'm brave enough for that. So I'm going to stop the video, and then I'm going to do a little bit of colouring for about an hour. I don't want to bob into Dee Dee's time. I think it used to be 3, but I think it's about 2:30 English time, and we're now on 1:45. So if I waddle till about 2, that'll give me a little bit of time. So I'm going to try to put these pens away safe so that I can continue with my Colin Thompson Fantastique. I've wet that tissue by accident, look, that serviette, and it hasn't run. So I could do Inktober on napkins. Now there's a thing. I have a tray underneath full of pens that tipped out. I have a lovely surprise for my husband when he walks in, that the dear little puppy that made him a little present. Somebody suggests putting him in a cage, but I just can't bear to put him in a cage because it would stress him out too much. But it's the only way to stop him from making presents everywhere, bless him. And he's been out 3 times. But we are his last hope, so we cannot give up on him. Let's hope the kitchen floor doesn't give up on him. I'm mortified to find out that my puppy's doing this on the floor, but that's what pets do. I suppose children do it when they're little, so you have to forgive them, so it's no different really, is it? You just have to think outside the box. Too much information. Right, thank you ever so much for watching. I'll stop this recording. Thank you for watching Bunny's Designs on YouTube and Ustream. This has been a little insight into my Inktober dabble of what pens and inks that I might like to watch. What I might like to use. So thank you for watching.